All right, welcome everyone to call four, right? I had to count. Money, love, sex, magic. Okay, call four. Um, this was a really interesting topic for me to pull together for us tonight. I think one of the reasons is because I think we get confused about magic versus manifestation. And to me, magic is a lot of the more tangible and physical part of creation. So if we're thinking about the energy of magic, to me, it's really close and similar to manifestation, but magic requires more tangible items to be um, brought about, to be actualized. Magic is creation more with the earth and more of the more tangible elements. So I don't know if you can see over my shoulder here in the background, there's some salt lamp, or actually those are my, salt lamps over there. But can you guys see that little area over there in the background? That's my altar. So magic requires altars, tangible things. I have like this stuff, usually crystals, money. If you use an energy of like a goddess or a symbol, sometimes plants can be a part of that. But however you want to build your altar, there's lots of different ways to build an altar. But magic usually requires more of an engagement of physical, tangible items. And I don't want to say they're to be worshipped. They're more to be activators or focal points. Jesus could be on your altar. Whoever it is that you commune with and that contributes to you in some way, somehow. I see it too as being sort of like a talisman or something to like bring you into the energy of what it is that your altar represents. And I recommend redoing your altar frequently or at least seasonally, but also redoing it with what you're trying to bring about with your magic as well. Hi, Natalie, and welcome. And welcome everybody tonight. So tonight we're going through magic. I'm spelling magic with a K because, and I didn't necessarily on the title for the class, but this class, as I was going through the research for it, a lot of times magic with a C, people think of like bunnies coming out of top hats and guys on a stage like cutting women in half, right? And I'm not talking about that kind of magic tonight. I'm talking about magic that's very ancient for us, like magic that was I at one time, really practiced more like a religion, magic as in like rituals, and I'm not saying it's a religion now. That's not really how I experience this kind of magic that I'm speaking of. I'm experiencing it more like, if you want to receive an energy from something, or if you want to mirror something, or if you want to be connected with something, this type of magic brings in and pulls those energies closer to you so that you can align with them or that you can use them. It's really about feeling it, and it's more of a being with it in the body. Whereas manifestation, which we'll talk about next week, is more of alchemy and more of a combination of all of the um, energies where magic is as well, but like I said, to me it's more tangible, more physical. Um, does anyone want to add anything about magic, or does anyone have any questions that they want to speak or say out loud before I begin with the transmission? No? Amanda, I could feel you.
You try to put it into words, like distilling it down. Like our beingness is magic. The fact that we're embodied is magical. Like in all the alchemy that surrounds that. Like the very state of our existence is magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. 100%, honey. And when in in ancient times before magic was taken away from us, that's really what it was about. That's what the people that practiced magic and embodied magic, that's how they felt. So if you can think about, okay, so let's lower all our walls and barriers and expand out. And in your imagination, try to remember before there was religion, before there was a time when magic was taken away from us. So think about when we first found fire. How magical would that experience have been to the first humans who experienced and found fire? Right? And think about that with any kind of invention or possibilities. The people that practiced magic, they were the healers. They were the ones that were working with herbs and spices. And then all of that information would get recorded or passed down to the next generation. And it was a very symbolic, it was a very high honor to be the one that practiced that, or got to practice that, or was seen as the seer, or the one that the people of the tribes would go to and ask questions. Like, you were revered, you were in a position of power. It was powerful. It still is. It's just that we've forgotten how powerful we are. Like Amanda said, us just being in bodies is magic. Like the dirt and the molding of the earth that it took to create these bodies for us to exist with. Like, think of the magic that had to occur for that to happen. you know? So, okay, does anyone else have anything before I begin? No? Okay. So magic, identity, spellcraft, ritual, focused energy, and sovereignty. So let's enter the house of magic. Okay. So close your eyes and slow your breath. Good. Feel your spine lengthen as if the earth itself is lifting you into place. Good. Tonight we are stepping into the house of magic. Not the stage trick kind, not the sleight of hand kind, not the illusion for entertainment, but the ancient, bone-deep, soul-encoded magic that created civilizations, guided queens, terrified kings, and whispered through the earliest fires humanity ever built. This is the magic that lives in you. So magic with a K versus magic with a C. Most people hear the word magic and think of rabbits and hats, card tricks, and something whimsical and harmless. That's magic. The performance, the illusion, the show. Magic with a K is different. Magic with a K is the command beneath your words, the intention woven into your rituals, the identity you anchor into your body, the focus that bends probability, the remembrance of your own ancient power. Magic is not about manipulating reality, it's about meeting your own power again. Okay? The first humans who knew magic lived inside of it. Long before religion, before science, and before philosophy, there was magic. And the ones who knew magic, those who practiced with it, those whom it was passed down to were revered. They were powerful. When humans first walked the earth, fire was magic, storms were magic, healing was magic, dreams were magic, drums were magic, intuition was magic, death was magic, birth was magic, herbs were magic, spices were magic. And for some of us, they still are. Every unexplained phenomenon called them deeper into awe and wonder, not fear, but reverence. And those who practiced magic studied those happenings and transcribed that information. They didn't just practice magic, not how we think of practicing magic now. They lived in a world where everything was enchanted. Everything was new. Where every sound meant something. Every movement had a spirit. Every ritual shaped the unseen. Even in the days of Moses, magic was not rare. Sorcerers, priestesses, prophets, seers, hearers, healers, oracles all coexisted in the same world. Magic was woven into the fabric of daily life. The question was never, is magic real? The question was, who knows how to use it? The medicine woman, the seer, the healer, those who survived, those who served, and those who saw were the people that were recognized as the magic people. The ones who saw were the ones who spoke to the land, read the signs, healed the sick, foresaw danger, midwifed births, interpreted dreams, held ceremonies, and guided transformation. Now, all of that happens today, right? But we have to sort of, at least I find this for myself, I have to find ways of speaking sometimes so that other people can hear me, because if I try to translate it into a way that sounds more like magic, people won't believe it. People will think that it's not real. But I know it's real. And I experience it as something that's real. But if I want someone who's maybe, and now it's considered like woo-woo, right? Like people are like, oh, that's just so woo. And it's not. It like actually exists. And it can exist with the combination of what's here and what's created here. All of it's magic too. I mean, look at AI and the internet. That's all magic. So those people that played with those energies and were able to do those things were called the witches, the priestesses, the oracles, the sorcerers, the healers, the shaman, the magi, and the divine messengers. But the title didn't matter. What mattered was this: they remembered how to touch the invisible, They remembered how to shape the seen and unseen through choice, will, ritual, and presence. They remembered themselves. That's magic. So magic is remembrance, not invention. Magic is not a skill you acquire. It's a truth you awaken. It's the part of you that senses something before you actually see it, knows something before knowing, chooses before evidence. It's the part of you that commands before the proof, whispers reality into alignment, and feels the field bend around your presence. Magic is not found in books. It's found in the body. It's found in the breath. It's found in the space between the words before you speak. Magic is also our identities, like who we're putting ourselves out as in the world. Magic is attention. Magic is ritual. Magic is choice. Magic is coherence. And magic is remembrance. Magic is you, like Amanda said earlier. You are literally magic walking, not metaphorically. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every intention you hold, every symbol you surround yourself with, every ritual you repeat, every identity you choose to embody, these are all spells. And you're spell casting all day long, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. You walk through the world as a living incantation. So it's like, what clothing are you wearing? What colors are you wearing? What jewelry do you have on? What does your nail polish represent? Like everything that you, and David, of course, you don't have any nail polish. I don't think, I mean, you could, but, like what intention do you have? Like Amanda's earrings, those earrings have a lot of energy. You can see them, you can experience them. Right? So everything that we put on in your wool sweater, is your sweater wool, Amanda, too?
Oh, I wish. No, but these earrings I got from a sacred medicine woman who brought them up from, I believe, Peru,
Mm-hmm.
and made probably by other medicine women.
Yeah.
Interesting that I chose to put them on today. I haven't worn them for months.
Yeah.
They are magic. I
They
feel
are.
magical
I
whenever I
can
wear
feel
them.
their energy.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
from South America.
Yeah. Very cool. So, the things that we choose to wear, all of it can contribute, especially if we're walking around in that level of consciousness. Most of us, and myself included, I'm walking around unconscious and unaware and asleep most of the time. I'm too busy. I need to get here. I need to get there. Or, I'm shopping and I need to remember my grocery list. And we're not slowing down enough to be present enough to really be focused on what we're putting out there as far as our energy and magic goes all the time. Right? I think it's the Native Americans that believe that even our hair has like a level of magic, like it's an extension of us. And I think I read somewhere that they, grow their hair really long because it has like an energy flow to it, and it was part of their magic. So, David. Well, your magic comes out in your energy and you don't need the hair. It's all good. Your smile carries that magic for you. Yeah. All right. So the question is no longer, am I magic? The real question is, am I willing to remember how powerful I actually am? So are you willing to remember how powerful you actually are? Okay. Because if you were to remember, then you could step back into the lineage of the seer, the priestess, the sorcerer, the healer, not by copying their practices, but by awakening the magic that already lives in your bones. So what is magic? All right, take another deep breath. So most people think magic is ritual, candles, herbs, sigils, spells, moon cycling, crystals, altars. And yes, all of those are tools of magic. So that's what I mean. The difference between like manifestation energy and magic is magic has tools, tangible things that we actually use to create with. But those tools are not magic itself. So magic isn't what you use, magic is what you are. So without you, I mean, honestly, anything that represents something to you, like this little box of mints, it says you can do it, empower mints. Like this, I could have on my altar, or I could carry around, and it could mean something, right? It could be a little talisman, it could be something that I put stuff into, maybe some, right now has mints in it, but it could be, you know, little spices or powders or things like that that I could use for different, you know, healing potion or anything like that. But without me necessarily putting that energy into this, it's just a box with mints in it, right? Even this crystal, like I love crystals. This is pink quartz. And there's a lot of, oh, something just fell out of it. There's a lot of people who really receive from different elements of the earth, like this crystal. But it could just be a rock sitting here. It doesn't necessarily, like a lot of people don't really draw from it or believe that it has any kind of ability or power or energy or anything like that that's going to contribute to them. But if you really truly receive from it, if you were to say this pink quartz like really contributes to me, you're the one who's putting that magic. You're the one who's casting that spell. You're the one who's willing to receive from it. Okay? So magic isn't necessarily what you use, magic is what you are with it. Magic is the ability to direct energy, identity, and attention so that reality reorganizes itself around your frequency. That's it. That's the whole thing. Mic drop. We can end tonight. We can end the call. So magic is the ability to direct energy, identity, and attention so reality reorganizes itself around your frequency. And I know some of you, like I've heard stories of some of you saying things and it actually happening then, like you're casting a spell and it happening, you know, that night or the next day. No, so that's how powerful we are. But we forget it so easily, right? It's not instilled in us through media necessarily. It's not in the news. Wouldn't that be awesome if it was? Amanda Cody performed acts of magic today when she stopped the man in the red truck running a red light and hitting her car. You know, it can be anything. All right. The tools that we use, the ceremonies, the herbs and the symbols, the spells that we cast, they're all amplifiers. So we can use them. That's what magic is about. Magic is about more so including the tangible items of this 3D reality with creating with ourselves. So it's like a coherence, frequency, Like we can use things to energize us, we can use things to contribute to us. Next week we'll talk about manifestation, and that's a whole different topic around creation. But again, magic is about learning about the things that are here to contribute to us, to use them in conjunction with what we're choosing, with what we're creating, with what we're being. So those things, those tangible things, they're just amplifiers. The magic is generated from you, from us. So thinking back to sex, right? Sex being that generator energy, that life force energy, that's coming from you. That's what magic is more about. The energy of magic, the frequency of magic. So a spell is not powerful because you wrote the right words. A spell becomes powerful because you are coherent when you speak them. Your intention in the spell is the power behind it. A ritual is not powerful because the full moon is glowing. A ritual becomes powerful because you become a vessel that the field responds to. Excuse me. Magic is not superstition. Magic is not fantasy, and magic is not woo. Magic is a nervous system skill plus identity anchoring plus energy direction plus conscious coherence. And I'm saying that as sort of like a equation, and I can put that in the chat, because magic is really, if you're going to practice it and you're going to use it as a tool to create with, then there's some skills that you really have to be involved in understanding and, you know, finding out for yourself what those things are. I'm not saying that it's just something that we should go around and play with. I think it's something that you can, but at the same time, I think that it's something that really, if you want to use magic, this class is just like skimming it, the topic of it. Did you want to unmute, Amanda? Okay. This class is just like skimming the very basics of what it is. If you really want to deep dive into it, I think people can be very skilled at it. But it's a skill. It's something to study and remember. And I think once you start to open yourself up to that, the downloads of how it works and what it is will come in very quickly. I don't think for those that really want to work with it, it'll be difficult for you to embody it and be with it. It'll be very fast. But I think that there are times when it can be used for dark. There's definitely dark energy magic, and I'm not judging that or saying that that's bad stuff. I'm just saying, have boundaries. That's why later on in tonight I'll talk about your identity. Knowing yourself while working with magic, I think, is one of the most important things to have there, because it's a responsibility. I think you have a responsibility with it if you're going to work with energy and this kind of an art or a way of being. Just like with sex and anything, though, if you're going to be working with it, if you're going to be communing with it, have the sovereignty, have the badassness to study it, to allow it to become a part of you. And I think we can give our magic away. And I think people can steal our magic too. And so the more you understand who you are and your sovereignty and what you are and the boundaries that you have and the non-negotiables that you have, the less people will be able to be in your field and take from you. You'll be more aware when you work with it of when someone is trying to do that to you. And then you can have the choice of, okay, yes, they can have it, I'll give it to them, or no, they can't. Okay. Magic is spelling, like literally. That's why it's called spelling. Words have always been spells. Why do you think it's called spelling? Every time you say, I'm broke, I'm tired, I can't do this, nothing ever works out for me, you're casting an unconscious magic spell. Now, I want to be careful talking about this in this way because I do want to say that I think it's legitimate to say, to recognize, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm tired, or I'm scared, or there's some stuff going on right now that is really difficult for me. I've been looking a lot at spiritual bypassing and how I feel like in the energy world and the woo-woo community and the manifestation community, we're constantly like, no, positive vibes only. And it's like, well, we live here. And if we're willing to receive from the things that are going on and ask more questions about them, I don't think that they're necessarily bad things. I think it's part of that yin and yang. I think it's part of the polarity of us existing here. When I was younger, I used to practice a lot of magic, and there was something about it where, at least in some pagan and Wiccan magic, where you have to give something to get something. And so sometimes it was like, do you really want this? Because it might require some people play with blood with it. So it might require, a sacrifice. Like in the New Testament, they talked about the sacrifice for God and things like that. Like, there was an exchange to it that, or there still is in some practices where, just be aware of what that exchange is. And I think that sometimes when we're feeling broke or tired or we have a negative energy, well, what if that's part of the exchange for what we're asking to receive, the magic that we're creating? And so if we sit with that, and we don't allow it to become so significant, I think the danger of anything, whether it's positive or negative, is the amount of significance we put on it. So if we're living in a negative state that's overcoming us, or we're living in a positive state that's overcoming us, I don't think that one or the other is the best way to do it. I think that staying in a balance is better. So again, every time you say, I'm broke, I'm tired, I can't do this, nothing ever works out for me, watch how you're saying it, be aware of how you're feeling when you're saying it. It might be your truth for right now, and if you're in consciousness and saying it, I think it's okay to really experience some of those things. To me, sometimes that's like the deep shadow work. Again, it may be the energy that's required for the exchange of what's coming in. Like, you may be paying that as your sacrifice. I'm willing to sacrifice being in this state for a moment in order to receive that which is around the corner for me. That which is every time I say, I choose this and I'm creating this and this is who I actually am and this is the version of me that I'm becoming and I'm available for more. Well, sometimes I think we have to go through some of that dark or hard stuff to get to that positive stuff. Okay. Magic is ritual and your whole life is an altar. So you don't necessarily need an altar. But what if you saw your whole life as an altar? So ritual is not just about candles and chants. Ritual is repetition with intention. So what if your entire life is an altar? Your morning routine is your altar, your screen habits, your thoughts, your self-talk, your desire, your space, your identity choices, your boundaries, your food, your life habits, all of it. What if all of it is a level of importance that you recognize in consciousness and you weren't unconscious about it? You are performing rituals every single day. So the question isn't, do I do magic? Because you already do. The question is really, do I do magic consciously or unconsciously or accidentally? Okay. And also, what if, again, I'm going to go back to like ancestral stuff, because what if we were brought up with parents who told us every day, you are magic? You know, I was grateful to have the experience of having my son because I got to say that to him and allow him to feel that about himself. You are magic. I tell him that all the time. I think some of us that are on here that are friends, we tell each other that too. You know, I know Amanda and I have shared that experience. I think I've said that to some of my clients. So what if you were to embody that and really be that and feel like that every morning? That's part of your morning routine, your morning ritual, your morning altar. Okay, Natalie. Bye, honey. Natalie said she has to sign off. Okay.
I'm going to start saying that to Annabella,
Yes.
who's about to turn 14 tomorrow, by the way, is her solar return. And I was thinking too about the ritual of preparing food and cooking and how it's just such an automatic thing. Like I made a beef vegetable soup tonight, and I was thinking back when you were talking about the ritual of everyday things,
Yeah.
like how unconscious I can go, like so in my head.
Yeah.
However, sometimes I'm bringing this very conscious awareness of infusing the food with love.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think I'd love to start practicing like infusing the food with magic
Yeah.
because people love my cooking. And I was like, oh, it's because I'm infusing it with love.
Which
And
is
sometimes
magical.
I'm more present to that than other times.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels more nourishing
Mm-hmm.
eating it after I go through the ritual of staying really present with what I'm doing and in the moment and the now and having that mind, body, heart coherence with the food and infusing it with that love.
Yeah.
It's potent medicine to eat that.
Yeah.
It's like you're coating the waters of the plants or yeah, and then you're ingesting it and you get to integrate that into your DNA.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
So love and magic now when I cook.
Yes. You kitchen witch. Yeah, for sure. That does, I mean, how many times have you, I think that's why people were like happy to eat grandma's food, right? Because she always infused it. She loved cooking, or, you know, if you've been with someone who like creates anything that way, sewing or any kind of skincare product, or it all feels different. It has a different energy to it, for sure. Yeah. And there is no, like, you're not late to ever start saying to anyone, you are absolute magic. You know, so if you have a partner, or if you have a friend, or if you have kids that are older, or even David with your mom, you know, just, did you know you're magic? You're magic. And if you really feel that, and that's the spell that you're casting, basically, with your energy that's behind it, to let someone know that, to be there energetically with them, to help infuse their energy with that, they will start to embody it too. So magic is focus. The universe responds to what you see. So people think signs like 111 and 222 or feathers and patterns are messages from the universe, Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But a deeper truth is the moment something feels meaningful, it becomes a magnet. So the moment something feels like it has an energy of meaning, there's a meaning there, then your energetic field and the universe responds to that. So your focus opens the field, your attention moves the energy, and your awareness amplifies the frequency. Amanda wrote in the chat, the word I got when I infuse my cooking with love is integrity. Yeah, for sure. I think integrity and like healing and like Amanda, I know that I've eaten your cooking and I've been around you when you cook, and I think you do it, even the way you chop the food, it's like you just want someone to feel really good. You want it to be nourishing and fulfilling in their body for their cells, for their healing, or whatever it is. It's very intentional. Yes. All right. Magic is not about superstition. It's about what your awareness activates. So when you focus on abundance, abundance increases. When you focus on fear, fear grows. When you focus on possibility, paths open. And when you focus on disappointment, collapse continues. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. That is spellcrafting. So magic is identity alchemy. This is the heart. Rituals do not change your life. Identity does. So who are and what are you being? When you shift who you are, your voice changes, your choices change, your relationships change, your money changes, your present changes. Your timelines change. So this is why magic works for some people and it doesn't work for others. If the spell does not match the identity of the caster, the field rejects it. A woman who doesn't believe she is powerful can cast the strongest spell in the world and nothing happens. A woman who knows she is can whisper 3 words and rearrange reality. That's identity magic. So I live across the street from a gal who is 40 and she just had twins and they're her first babies, and I know she used magic to create those babies. She had an altar, she cast spells, she would do full moon and new moon rituals, like she really believed that she was going to have those babies. I think she was just shooting for one. I think twins was like a surprise, but she made it happen. Like in all reality, it was a very slim chance that she was going to get pregnant, and she did it. She wanted it bad enough. She believed in it enough. So magic is energy direction. So it's the practice of choosing the thought, the intention, the emotional tone, the identity, the frequency, and the direction of your desire. And then holding that direction without collapse. Magic is energy moving because you moved first. Okay? Magic is remembering. It's not always learning, it's not always studying, it's not always memorizing. It's remembering who you were before you were programmed. It's remembering who you were before you were afraid. It's remembering who you were before you collapsed. It's remembering who you were before someone told you that's not real. Magic feels natural because you don't practice magic, you return to it. You remember it's something that's always there for you. It's always been there for you. It's never gone away. It is who you are. Magic is the consciousness or the conscious direction of energy, intention, and attention to collapse probability into form. Magic is frequency with focus. Magic is choice that becomes reality. Magic is the moment you remember you are the spell. Okay? All right. So why most people can't access magic or don't access magic? Most people can't access magic not because they're not gifted, not because they're not spiritual, and not because they're not chosen, and definitely not because they're doing it wrong. They can't access magic because their system forgot. Their system was trained to forget it. So their nervous system, their identity, their mind, their belief structures, their environment, their programming, all forgot that magic existed for them too. Magic isn't hard. Forgetting it is what took all the effort. Wars were fought over it. People died to force us to forget it. Entire cultures were demolished for it to leave us. So reason number one, they don't access magic is they don't know who they are. Magic only responds to identity, not desire, not longing, not hope, not trying, not manifesting. Magic responds to the this is who I am. So most people have never actually asked, who am I without survival patterns? Who am I without the conditioning? I would ask these questions if I were you, and maybe I'll write myself a note to do this. I might do this every day for 30 days. Like, who am I without survival patterns? Who am I without the conditioning? Who am I without my trauma identity? Who am I when I stop performing? Who am I when I speak the truth? Magic requires congruence. If you don't know who you are, your spell has no anchor. Identity first, ritual second. Reason number two, they don't trust their own signal. So the biggest block to magic on the planet is people trust society more than their intuition. People trust fear more than frequency. People trust logic more than their knowing or their awareness. People trust approval more than their inner authority. People trust external systems more than their own signal. If you don't trust your own signal, you can't trust the spell that you cast. If you don't trust your own signal, you can't trust the messages that you receive. And if you don't trust your own signal, you outsourced your own power. Magic requires, I trust what I feel, I trust what I see, I trust what I know. Most people have never been allowed to trust themselves, and that's what we're changing. Okay? Reason number three, they have no coherence. Magic requires coherence between mind, body, energy, intention, and identity. Most people think one thing, feel another, desire something else, act from fear, identify as not enough. That's incoherence, and incoherence collapses magic. So a spell spoken from an incoherent system is just words. A spell spoken from a coherent system becomes reality. Okay. Reason number four, they don't have the capacity. So this is where the nervous system comes in. People try to summon more money, more love, more visibility, more power, more influence, more magic, but their system cannot hold it because holding more requires safety, neutrality, groundedness, tolerance for expansion, tolerance for uncertainty, and tolerance for identity evolution. So if the body interprets the desire as a threat, the desire collapses, not because the magic failed, but because the system couldn't handle the upgrade. So how's your system doing? Reason number 5, they practice fantasy, not frequency. Fantasy equals I hope, I wish, I want, or maybe. Frequency equals I choose, I am, and this is. Fantasy is powerless. Frequency is magic. Most people manifest from fantasy. Most people pray from fantasy. Most people cast spells from fantasy. Fantasy is done without desire. Fantasy is desire with, or frequency, I'm sorry, let me read that again. Fantasy is desire without identity. Frequency is desire with embodiment. And I feel like there needs to be something else there, but it's not coming to me right now. It will. Okay, so reason number 6, they cast spells while abandoning themselves. This is why most people can't connect with their magic, create with their magic. Every spell is a command to the field. But if the person casting the spell is shrinking, performing, people-pleasing, betraying themselves, terrified of being seen, and refusing their own truth, the field reads the truth, not the spell. The spell says, I want, which is also a state of lack. The identity says, I don't deserve. And the nervous system says, it's not safe. And so the field responds to the deepest frequency, not the loudest desire. We must stop abandoning ourselves before magic can land. Sorry, I had to fix something there. Okay. So reason number 7, they don't know they are casting spells all day long. They think magic is special. Magic is automatic. Every word you speak is a spell. Every choice you make is a ritual. Every belief you repeat is an incantation. Every identity pattern you embody is a sigil. Every boundary you draw is a protection spell. Every desire you hold is a summoning. Most people cast spells of sacredity, spells of fear, or scarcity, spells of I can't say that word right now. Scarcity, spells of fear, spells of unworthiness, spells of collapse, spells of avoidance, spells of I can't, without knowing they're doing it.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
can you say the boundary one again? Every
Mm-hmm.
boundary is a what?
Every boundary you draw is a protection spell.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So reason number 8, they don't believe they are magic. This is the heartbreak of human programming. People believe magic is outside of them. Right? And even when we're putting like a power into a crystal or something like that, like, again, you're the one who's invoking the magic. You're the one who's willing to receive from this. It's not outside of you. It's remembering that you are this and it is you and this is inside of you. That's the only reason you could feel any kind of energy from it, right? So once you really truly can acknowledge the magic that you truly are, that's going to create and change your world more than setting up an altar and thinking that a rock is going to heal you. And I'm not saying that it can't. It can contribute to you. I'm just saying it's not the rock doing the healing, though. It's like when you take any kind of medication. It's not really the medication doing the healing. It's your belief that it will help you. Or that it can help you. So people believe magic is outside of them. People believe magic is something ancient or something special or something that you must earn. People believe magic is something for chosen people. People believe magic is dangerous. People believe magic is silly. People believe magic is something pretend. I was always told that growing up. It's pretend. Doesn't mean anything. Oh, you're so cute. You're just pretending. But here's the truth. You are made of the exact substance that creates reality. Magic isn't a talent. Magic is your birthright. Magic is your factory setting. Magic is your default setting. Most people lost it because someone told them to stop believing in what they could already feel. I lost believing that I could talk to people without bodies, entities, dead people for a really long time. But I have that ability. I just had to remember. I was told that I had imaginary friends. So people don't fail at magic. They just forget that they are the magic. Magic collapses when identity collapses. Magic activates when identity anchors. Your spell doesn't create reality, you do. If the body doesn't feel safe, the magic cannot land. You cast spells all day long. It's time to know what you're actually saying. So let's go through the laws of magic. Okay, let's take a break though. Does anyone have to go to the bathroom or go get some water, or do we want like a 5-minute break? Yeah? Okay, let's take a 5-minute break. I'll put the recording on pause and I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Thanks, Amy. Okay. So the laws of magic. We're going to go through the Wiccan Reed, threefold law, hermetic principles, sympathetic magic, correspondence, contagion, polarity, will, return, karma. I don't know if we're going to go through all of those. Maybe. Okay. So old magic laws were written for people who didn't understand the nervous system, identity, trauma, frequency, or consciousness. We're not rewriting the laws tonight. We are upgrading them. So law number 1 was the Wiccan Reed, meaning harm none. So my interpretation of that is cause no self-harm through self-abandonment. But the classic version says, "And it harm none, do what ye will." So it's meant to keep magic ethical. But here's the real law for conscious magic. Your first responsibility is to stop harming yourself. Every act of magic must be rooted in self-truth, not self-betrayal. When you abandon yourself, your spells weaken, your frequency collapses, your power leaks, your rituals fail, your identity fragments, harming yourself through silence, not saying things when they need to be said, through shrinking, through dishonesty, through guilt, through appeasing, through doing things that you don't want to do and know you shouldn't do, is the only way to break magical law. So magic requires self-honor and, like Amanda was saying earlier, integrity. Not moral purity, self-honor. So this is law number 1. Law number 2, the threefold law. Everything returns times 3. But that's the old interpretation of it. My interpretation of that is the field returns what you are, not what you do. So I don't remember who I was talking to the other day, but they were talking about like casting a spell of something bad happening to someone, but it was almost like they had a conflict with this person for a while, and like really what needed to happen is that person needed to be taken down a notch. But the integrity behind casting the spell wasn't that they wanted to actually do great harm to this person, but they also knew that something was required to stop this person in their tracks. So I believe that if you're in integrity, if you're functioning from integrity, and you're functioning from a greater contribution and responsibility for all, then what you send out there, it's not that. So who you are in that moment, like if you're saying, a spell I like to cast sometimes is, I hope you get a paper cut on your tongue. So stop saying bad things to me. Like, you know, um, does that come back to me? No, I don't think it's returned to me in that way. I think that the universe knows who are you being in that moment? And do I really mean harm on someone? No, not usually. Sometimes I do. But like I said, for the good of all, like especially if somebody's hurting my kid, ooh, watch out. Or, I have a friend who was experiencing something really difficult recently, and I was putting some harmful spells out there to the person who was not being kind to her. Yeah, when I was sexually assaulted, I put some interesting spells out there to that person. Okay. So the traditional belief of that law is whatever energy you send returns threefold. But this oversimplifies the field and terrifies beginners. So here's my version. The field doesn't return spells, it returns identity or integrity. Like, who and what are you being in the moment? It amplifies whatever you are being. If you shrink, you receive small. If you overgive, you receive depletion. If you embody truth, you receive coherence. If you anchor identity, you receive opportunities. If you act from fear, you receive fear-based realities. If you act from sovereignty, you receive sovereign realities. Nothing comes back threefold. It comes back matched to the deepest frequency you hold. Not threefold, truthfold. Okay. So law number 3. The law of similarity like affects life. My interpretation of that, your outer reality mirrors your inner identity. And we'll talk about that a little bit more next week with manifestation as well. But I'll have to explain it next week a little bit more. I don't know that it's like a literal interpretation of that statement that I want you to have. what I really want for you is to have a knowing, a clear sense of what your inner identity is. So if reality is showing up in a way, I don't want you to be so attached to that it creates a disturbance for you. I want you to see it as something like, what's another possibility, or what's something that I need to change in myself as my identity goes so that I can see things differently. Because then you'll start to see outer reality differently. Like, outer reality will change for you, and it's not really changing at all. It's just changing for you because you're changing your inner identity. Does that make sense? Am I saying that clearly? Okay. All right. So ancient magic taught a puppet represents a person, a burning candle represents transformation, a drawn symbol represents a force. But my upgrade to you tonight is external ritual is a mirror of internal identity. So your magic works when you match the spell. A ritual doesn't create change, it anchors change. You are the change. Spellcraft equals identity plus action plus attention plus embodiment. And I'll put this equation in the chat. Oops. Okay. So the law is now, as I am, so it becomes, which was once as above, so below, or as within, so without. It now is as I be, so the world organizes. And I think that change from what I got a sense of needs to occur because we've been so programmed, like ancestral lineage stuff and religion and the media and politics and all of it, school, whatever. We've been so programmed out of actually knowing our true selves. So once we get back to remembering that identity of who we truly are, what we truly are, then that is what the world organizes around. Amanda, are you having a bumpy ride over there?
Trying to pull the screen closer, and I just had a total technical malfunction.
Looks
And
like
my
looked like
magic
you were.
cat was like, "What are you doing, Mama?"
It looked like you were almost falling off the bed.
All the equipment did.
Mm.
I rescued.
All
Nope.
right.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Law of contagion. Okay. I lost my spot. Where am I? Okay. So the law of contagion said things once connected remained connected. But my interpretation of that, energy follows attachment, so clean your field. So the old law said things that touch remain linked, like hair, clothing, or objects. And this is really, for me, about energetic hygiene. So every unresolved attachment in your field continues influencing your magic until you clear it. So unfinished relationships. Ah, David. I felt that one. Are you eating popcorn? Yeah. Okay. So Every unresolved attachment in your field continues influencing your magic until you clear it. Unresolved relationships, trauma bonds, old lovers, ex-friends, family patterns, soul contracts, old identities, past failures, and past versions of yourself. All of it stays connected until you consciously detach. If your field is cluttered, your magic is distorted. This becomes cut the cord and clear the channel. So how do you know if you're still being affected by someone else's energy, or how do you know that you have something that you need to clean? Energetic hygiene. Those things still come up in your awareness. You're still triggered by them. You dream about them. Things about them come up in your everyday life, and you're like, why is that coming up again? Then you know that there are patterns, or there are people, or there are things that you haven't cleaned from your own field. Still affecting you. Okay, the law of intent, law number 5. My interpretation of this law is intent is nothing without identity. So who or what are you being? Every magic book says intent is everything, and I say not anymore. So we're upgrading. Intent means nothing if the identity doesn't match. So you can intend abundance while identifying as broke. You can intend love while identifying as unworthy. You can intend power while identifying as small. But identity overrides intent every time. So magic obeys identity, not intention. So if you wanted abundance and you intended abundance, you would have to identify as someone who's abundant. Okay. Law 6, law of neutrality. My interpretation of that is magic works when you stop over-identifying with outcomes. Magic requires neutrality, detachment, regulation or relaxation, and non-gripping. I would say regulation too. The moment you panic, obsess, micromanage, chase, force, or overfocus, or put too much significance on something, you collapse the probability wave. My new law for this is command the desire, release the grip, hold the frequency, and let the field respond. So we'll talk about that a little bit more next week too, because that sort of goes into manifestation. That I want to bring in is like, set the intention of what you want to cast the spell or manifest out there, and then let it go. Like it's going to happen no matter what. And aligned action and all sorts of other things. All right, law number 7, the law of coherence. My interpretation of that is the field can't deliver what your body can't hold. So spells fall apart when the nervous system collapses, the body perceives threat, the identity rejects the desire, and the field cannot land. Magic is not the issue. Capacity is. So the new law is if your system can't hold it, your magic cannot create it. Law number 8, the law of sovereign will. So my interpretation of that is magic follows choice. In ancient traditions, will equaled power. The upgrade of that for now is magic follows sovereign choice. Not wishful thinking, not passive hope, not longing, not need. Choice is voltage, choice is command, choice is the wand, choice is the altar, choice is the ritual. I choose creates faster than I want. Okay, so the new distilled, upgraded laws that we're creating tonight are: do not abandon yourself. The field returns who you are, not what you do. As you be, so it becomes. Clear the cord, clear the channel. Identity overrides intention. Command plus release equals magic. If your body can't hold it, your magic can't create it. And choice is the ultimate spell. Okay, so magic versus manifestation. We're just going to go through this just briefly because we'll talk about it more next week. But most people use words magic and manifestation interchangeably. They are not the same. They are two different technologies operating on two different layers of reality, and you must know which one you're using, why, when, and why. So magic, like I was saying in the beginning of the class, is more tangible. It's more of like human technology, if you will. And manifestation is more cosmic technology. So magic is a skill. In magic, we use the body and tangible items to help us keep coherence and create incoherence. Manifestation is a state and nothing tangible is required. So when you're if you're going to go away from this class tonight and you want to practice with magic, I would suggest finding some tools or objects or symbols, things that you can tangibly focus on and play and practice with that. So have yourself a talisman, maybe build an altar, maybe use fire, smoke, write down spells, things like that. And then, like every day, that then becomes a part of a ritual or a focus that you create with those energies. That's more of a magic way of being and creating. Okay? Manifestation is more consciousness, it's choice, it's identity alignment, it's energetic coherence, it's quantum command, it's collapsing probability through truth. Magic uses tools to direct the field. Manifestations uses just you. You know you're connected to all of those things. I have stuff in my house now that I think it's fun to have. But I no longer use things because I believe I am the thing. Like if the thing exists, I can draw on it from anywhere. Like I don't need an actual, well, let's use dragon energy. So if I used to have dragons a lot all over my house, and Quinn was like the dragon baby. Like when he was little, we had lots of dragons in his room, and I was the dragon mama. But it's just symbology. Like I can embody that energy from anywhere. So I can embody magic from anywhere, and I can cast spells and do things from anything and anywhere. It doesn't mean anymore that I have to have a little magic pill box with me. Okay? Magic is active and manifestation is receptive. So magic says, I will move the energy myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. Play with it. It's lots of fun. But manifestation says, I decide, and then the field, and I ask, and then the field reorganizes. So magic is more push. Magic is more, I would say magic is maybe even more like inspired action. It's more like, oh, this is fun for me, or holding something, like giving something a job or a task kind of thing. And manifestation is more pull and flow. Like I'm gonna sit here and pull energy and flow energy. That's more manifestation. Magic is match the ritual energy, and manifestation is match the identity energy. Hi, Coco. Magic is more fire, and manifestation is more like gravity. So magic works through symbol, and manifestation works through signal. So magic uses more altars, candles, correspondences, elements, sigils, moon cycles, herbs, colors, and objects. And again, I think that some of that exists because it's fun for us to play with here. Like, we have bodies, right? Our bodies love tangible objects and things. So there's no wrongness in the creation of using any of those things. Excuse me. Sorry. It's just, how much significance do you put on it, and how much power away do you give to it? Manifestation uses more frequency, coherence, self-truth, neutrality, emotional voltage, and nervous system capacity. So, let's see. Every spell is a symbol trying to create a signal, and manifestation is the actual signal. Magic is a practice, and manifestation is more of an identity. So, when I was talking about creating magic with your identity, or it's more about your belief that you have the identity of someone who can practice magic as something that's actually going to generate something. Okay? Manifestation as an identity is more like the frequency, the sovereignty, the neutrality of it. There's a different feel of manifestation when it comes to identity than there is in magic and the identity. Magic is more like lighting a candle, carving a sigil, speaking a spell, taking a bath ritual, charging an object, and clearing a field. Manifestation is more like identity, frequency, sovereignty, self-honor, neutrality, alignment, capacity, and choice. It's a different connectedness. Magic happens in moments. Manifestation happens because of who you are. Magic bends possibility. Manifestation collapses reality. Magic shifts circumstances, emotions, energy, probability fields, and momentum, whereas manifestation shifts timelines, identity, destiny, and reality structure. So magic is like more like an influence, and manifestation is more like a creation. Magic is more of a movement, where manifestation is more like an arrival. Magic is more change the energy around the thing, and manifestation is more become the person for whom the thing is inevitable. Magic is more I will energy, and manifestation is more I am energy. So a spell says I will create this, a manifestation says this is who I am. So one is more effort and one is more gravity. One is more expression and one is more embodiment. Magic moves energy outward. Manifestation draws reality inward. Or through, I would say. Magic needs belief. Manifestation needs truth. Magic requires belief, imagination, focus, ritual, participation, and presence. Manifestation requires more coherence, capacity, neutrality, identity, congruence, willingness to receive, the courage to tell the fucking truth. Yeah, because manifestation is accessing your knowing and your awareness and your intuition. Magic is more intention. Okay. So magic can amplify manifestation, and manifestation can stabilize. Magic can create more motion, and manifestation creates arrival. So like the actualization. Magic opens pathways, and manifestation chooses the timeline. Magic stirs the cauldron, and manifestation completes the spell. Magic equals the ritual of becoming, where manifestation is the result of becoming. Okay? So in magic, you influence the field, and in manifestation, you command the field. In magic, you focus the energy, and in manifestation, you become the energy. In magic, you move toward the desire, and in manifestation, the desire moves toward you. Magic is the fire, manifestation is the gravity. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to do our closing ritual. Does anyone have any? I have so much more, but I'm feeling everyone's like shutting downness. Does anyone have any questions? No? Everyone good? Okay. Oh, well, this will probably come out in a book later. The whole manual is like 160 pages so far. So crazy. There's so much more in here that we didn't have time for going through in class. All right. Yeah, okay. Is everybody good? Yeah? Okay. Amanda, you're so cute. Did you get something out of tonight? I know you were excited for this call tonight.
Oh, so much. It feels like magic and manifestation go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do. Magic like creates the focal point, like the focus. So when you're asking, well, again, we'll go over more of this next week, but when you're asking to manifest something, like we were talking about in the first class, aligned action versus what was the other one?
Inspired action.
Inspired, right. So magic is more the inspired action, and manifestation is more the aligned action. Does that make sense? So the energies are different, but yes, they go hand in hand. But the thing that we'll talk about next week is all of the things that we talked about over the last 4 weeks all go hand in hand with manifestation. Like without your sexualness, without your sex life force energy, manifestation doesn't happen either. Without your love, without your unconditional, amazing love, like all of that love that we talked about, without that, manifestation doesn't happen. Like universes collapse because we're not in communion and alchemizing all of those energies. Okay, so yes. So the closing transmission, if you want to breathe, if you want to close your eyes, if you want to relax. So you have spent this last hour and a half remembering parts of yourself you thought were lost, buried, or stolen by the world you were forced to survive. But here's the truth that came for you. Magic was never outside of you. It was always your birthright, your body, your signal, your remembering. You do not need candles to be powerful. You do not need rituals to be worthy, and you do not need tools to command reality. You are the altar. You are the wand. You are the incantation. You are the priest, the priestess, and the power you call upon. Everything you learned today, identity, rituals, it's not something that you do. It's something you become, because magic is not a performance. Magic is not a fantasy. Magic is not something that works for you. Magic works as you. It flows through the choices you make when no one is watching. It pulses through your nervous system when you tell the truth. It expands when you refuse to abandon yourself. It ignites every time you listen to the deeper call inside your chest, instead of the noise around you. Magic is coherence. Magic is congruence. Magic is the moment your body, your mind, your desire, your identity all face the same direction. Magic is when the field looks at you and says, ah, I know who you are now. And then it organizes around your presence, around your declaration, around the frequency you hold without apology. You came here today to remember this. You are not learning magic. You are remembering your nature. You are not fragile. You are not waiting. You are not hoping. You are a sovereign signal, a creator, a conductor, a timeline walker, a person who blends probability because you know your own pulse. You are the spell. You have always been the spell. And everything you touch from this moment forward, every word, every breath, every choice, will carry the resonance of someone who remembers. Now breathe again. Feel your field expanding. Feel your identity anchoring and feel your power recalibrating. The house of magic is open, and you, beloved, were never outside its doors. It is done because you have become the one who can hold it. Good. All right, everybody, thanks so much for coming tonight. I love
Thank
all
you.
your energies. You're welcome. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week for manifestation.
Yay.
Yay! That's
Good
awesome.
night.
Good night. Thank you. Bye, Amy. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you?